Hey there, gamers! What you see right here is a NeoGeo emulator for the PC. This is NeoRage XP, I believe. And this is pretty much the best emulator you can get for a NeoGeo. Now, of course, you know, I have the NeoGeo CD, but this game, it was never released on the AES, never released on NeoGeo CD, never ported over to another console. This one is only on the MVS. So we're going to take a look at Breaker's Revenge. The original Breakers was made around 1996 by a company called Visco Games. So, not really a well-known company. Now, they did a couple of shooters and stuff like that, and then they came out with this fighting game called Breakers. And it was pretty much in a sense like a Street Fighter clone. It was, but it was from a company that had like no real experience before. It was surprisingly solid, and people played the hell out of it. So in 1998 they updated it as Breaker's Revenge. So okay, there's a little gameplay bump. Of course, as usual, I'm gonna play it. Now this emulator, I set it to console, so this is pretty much if it got a console release. It never did, of course, but so we're gonna have yep, okay, key configuration. We're gonna have, let's see, it's really fast. Punch, kick, hard punch, hard kick, because the way I set my gamepad up. So okay, so now you have the normal how to play. And, it's just like a normal Street Fighter game, up, down, left, right on the D-pad. You got 4 attack buttons in this case. So it's kind of like Street Fighter, but with an SNK style, attack method. So you got Sho, who's pretty much the Ryu of the game. You got PL, who's in a sense like the Guile. Condor, who's like the T-Hawk or the Zangief. Rila, who's like the Blanca of the game. Tia, who's like the Chun-Li. Alcyon the third, who's like the Dalsum. Okay, we gotta hurry. Mahurl, which is pretty original. Daolong, which is like the rival. Saizo, who's brand new. We're gonna go to Sho right now. Saizo was actually not in Breakers. He was actually introduced only in Breaker's Revenge, which is kind of the amazing reason why people still play this in Japan. They play this version over Breakers. So you see, normal control system. He's got a little, fireball right there. You see, actually, it's a pretty fast-paced fighting game. On the NeoGeo, you didn't have too many of these fast-paced fighting games. Supers are done alpha style. Street Fighter Alpha, that kind of style with 2 motions and 1 button instead of 1 motion, 2 buttons, like the Versus series. One of the big things about this game is what's called breakering, which at this point the computer won't do it, but during certain specials and everything like that, you get, there's a thing, in a fighting game there's called hit stun and block stun. Like when you're hit, you have that moment where you can't control yourself, that's called a hit stun. If you're blocking, then you have what's called a block stun. Now finish off with that super. What Breakers and Breaker's Revenge does is that during specific moves, if you're hit with like that, if you're in that hit stun and block stun during certain moves, you're able to actually break out of that stun and actually, break that person's combo. So pretty much in a sense, the strategy for this game is to know which moves, can be breakered and which moves can't. Of course, throws obviously can't be breakered. He has a little weird poison attack. I missed that one. There you go. I mean, the original Breakers was on the NeoGeo AES. It also was on the NeoGeo CD. But I think I mentioned when I first talked about the NeoGeo CD when I got that a few months back that I would love to get Breakers on the NeoGeo CD. Revenge, though, you can only play it on an emulator. You can only play it on MVS. If you look on YouTube and stuff, though, there are people in Japan. They still do Breaker's Revenge tournaments. It's still pretty popular in Japan. It still has a bit of that niche in Japan, and of course they're playing Revenge mainly because of Saizo. Nothing else has really been changed apparently, except the addition of Saizo. But Saizo is generally considered to be a really good character, so hence why why they play that one, because he's actually a really good character. So we'll finish that off. I haven't really been able to show any breakering yet, unfortunately. If you go online, go to like YouTube and stuff, you can definitely see, you know, a lot of breaker. And there's actually, I think, a video on YouTube that shows you pretty much how to play this game. You know, how to do breakers and, you know, super combos, and, you know, super cancels and everything like that. Just a pretty obscure NeoGeo fighting game. I thought things should get a little more focus. I think Visco is still around to this day, but I think they mainly do pachinko now. Though they do list some of their fighting games though, but the video games. But they don't list Breaker's Revenge on their website anymore, amazingly enough. Yeah, see, there's your Chun-Li-esque style. Finish off with a little Rakoha. I mean, yeah, you look at it, it's like, yeah, this is kind of like Street Fighter. It has like that, you know, the usual NeoGeo fighters, like King of Fighters and everything, are a little slower paced. This one's a little faster paced than the usual NeoGeo fighter. Which in that sense, it does make a nice little different from the usual, just kick my butt. And it's even the same thing, the jumping and the yatta, you know. It's unabashedly a Street Fighter clone, but it's a fun game though. It doesn't mean it's a bad game. I was about to do a fireball right there, and I canceled into a, you know, super. So. Boom! There you go. Music works. Graphically, you can tell it looks really nice. It has the nice color, all those nice colors of the NeoGeo that the NeoGeo could do. Voice work, you know, it's all in Japanese. You know, really English voice work in fighting games didn't really become big until a few years back. Yeah, so here's Dao Long, who's pretty much like the rival of Sho. He plays in a sense very much like Guile as well. He's more charge based. In traditional NeoGeo fighting game fashion, you know, NVS setting is pretty tough. Damn. Actually, if anyone plays the fighting game like compilation kind of like self-creator thing Mugen, you actually can find you know, Sho and Dao Long downloadable for Mugen, which is actually how I first got to know these two characters. There you go again. There's my first win. Now I'm just going to play this out to the end. I mean, like I said, it's not much to really say about it. It's very Street Fighter-esque, but it's still a solid game. A little taunt there from him. Ow, that sucks. Yeah, this is gonna get tough really fast. Because I haven't played this one in a little bit, so Sho is pretty much the character I really know because he's the Ryu-like character. There was also the final boss, Baihu, who's very much, in a sense, very much an SNK boss. Very annoying to fight, very cheap. You know, you're going to continue against him a lot. Oh, there's an enter initials. I don't think it saves, though, on the simulator, but oh well. But, yeah, that's Breaker's Revenge. Just wanted to show it off. As I said, you can only really play it on an emulator, or if you somehow are able to acquire the NVS cartridge. As I said, though, still played in, you know, Japanese arcades, still played in tournaments in Japan. It definitely is a bit of a cult classic. So, you know, if you have a chance to play it, if you have a chance to check it out, I'd say do so. It's not a bad game at all. And, you know, if you have a chance to just play Breakers, I mean, you're missing Saizo, yeah, but it's still the same game in the end, just with slightly different colors.